Our first panelist is Mr. Geoff George. Geoff George in the building. Come on up. Geoff George is an established cinematographer and camera and electric department worker based in LA and Detroit. He worked as a second unit DP on the features Fall and It Follows. He DP'd for brands such as Nike, Timberland, Under Armour, Vice, Cadillac, Chevy, Ford, Mustang, OnStar, the NFL, and for musicians such as Tenacious, Eminem, Danny Brown, Carpenter, Brute, and Opeth. His man messed that one up. All right. Narrative DP credits also include shorts, numerous shorts, 3 features, including Stealing Jokes, Ovid, The Art of Love, The Pickle Recipe, and he's also a camera operator at the local IATSE 600, and has also worked for projects such as Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Bosch, the TV show, and also Beverly Hills Cop 4. Shout out Axel Foley. Yep. And he also DP'd a short, Raspberry, that premiered at Sundance Film Festival in 2021. And he's also a 2019 recipient of the Emerging Cinematographer Award with the ICG Cinematographers Guild. Welcome, Geoff George. Yeah, I'm not gonna skate past the credits. I gotta give people their flowers, you know? Oh, yeah, even then, I didn't get it around everything. All right, we also have Marshalle Favors. Marshalle, there she is, all right. Marshalle's an established Michigan area producer, filmmaker, film festival programmer, and longtime film community advocate. She has produced over 8 independent feature films and has written and directed 5 short films spanning over 20 years. She is also the co-founder of the Trinity International Film Festival and the Detroit Black Film Festival, going almost 20 years strong. And she's also a partner of the Collective Studios in Southfield, Michigan. And she's also a Forbes Black Community member, passionate racial and social justice advocate, and also served as a 2023 Women of Excellence honoree, and was also awarded one of the most influential African American women in metropolitan Detroit in 2021. Give it up. Give it up. Marshalle Favors. Next, we have gracing us at the Light Up Livernois Art of Filmmaking panel, Mr. Timashion Jones. Bring it up. Timashion Jones is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning filmmaker, director, and producer and founder of T-Bop Studios. He's been in the industry over 30 years. He's also a partner in the Collective Studios in Southfield, Michigan. His first feature film, A Love That Hurts, has accumulated over 4 million views on YouTube. He's also, his documentary, Cody High, a life remodel, earned 3 Emmy Awards, including Best Documentary in 2016. Give it up, give it up. And finally, Timashion has produced and directed over 15 narrative films, documentaries, short films, including his recent psychological thriller, A Mirror of Deception. Check that out. Where's that at?
Check that out. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, and you can watch it on Tubi. Type in A Mirror, and then it'll pop up.
Well put, my friend. All right. Then our final panelist we have here, Tameka Citchen-Spruce. Give it up. Tameka is a Michigan area director, screenwriter, filmmaker, producer in both film and unscripted television / reality, and she's also a disability justice advocate for over 15 years. She produced a short film, Seated, for the 48-Hour Film Project, which received an official selection at the Trinity International Film Festival. Her other credits producing projects include the documentary My Girl Story and the Autistic Out Loud documentary. Tameka has been featured on Fox, USA Today, Digital Journal, NCN, and Mayonville Publications. Her writing credits also include a 1-act play, 24 Hours to Live, and a short film, A Walk to Remember. And most recently, she has contributed to the Webby and Telly award-winning PBS series American Masters, The Renegades, and also the digital series she created, Divas in the City. Give it up for Miss Tameka Citchen-Spruce. Back to you, Greg.
This is what's going to be. All right. Wow, just listening to everybody's credits are great. So glad to have you all here. And what we'll do is, just like we did the last time, we will start off with questions, and we will go up and down the row here. Tameka, good to see you. Now, what has been the biggest challenge when it comes to distributing your work and generating consistent income from streaming platforms as well as other mediums?
So I would say, for me, the biggest challenge for any independent filmmaker is really the marketing budget, because when you don't go to like a major distributor, you have to have budget, you know, to market your films. You can put it on a film aggregator, but if you don't have a budget to create ads or, you know, whatever the case may be, it's hard to distribute for people to see your film. So oftentimes for my movies, I had to spend my own money and also get grants and such to market the film.
All right, Geoff, how about with you?
Tell me the
question again? All right, what has been your biggest challenges when it comes to distributing your work and generating consistent income from streaming platforms or other mediums?
Well, I'm a cinematographer, so I don't run a streaming platform, but I wish I did. But I know that there's other people on this panel that do. But you know, I've been a cinematographer for over 12, 13, 14, almost 15 years now, and so I've seen a lot of different things, you know. And I've worked on big studio movies, and I've also DP'd small short films and stuff. And I would say that, you know, there used to be a philosophy of approach to send your film to film festivals and get accolades, and that can be good, but I also believe strongly that you should put your work out there so people can see it. And I think these new streaming platforms are a great avenue to do that. And I'll let some people that are more educated in that area speak to that.
All right. What up, though?
Hello.
I've been traveling across the country since May 27th, and came back from New York last night, so it's just real good to hear. Yo, what up, though? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, as far as distribution, you got to find somebody that you can trust. Also, you want to have somebody that will show you your numbers frequently. I have a distributor that gives me my numbers every 6 months, which isn't good for marketing. Because if I make a move in my marketing, then 6 months later I find out if it worked or not. Now my latest film, shout out to Silverline with Rocky and Paris. You know, they provide me my numbers just about any time that I want, and I can see if I put something in place if that actually changed. Because in order to make money, we have something called ECPM. Like every 1,000 commercials that's played, we make about $5 or $6, right? And it might take 50 full views in order for my movie to make $5. So that means I have to have like thousands of people to watch it in order to make some serious money. So the challenge is, how do I get my movie in front of thousands of people? Because my mom and her friends, they're gonna watch it. I got a good 70 on lock, you know what I'm saying? But how do I get 700,000? How do I get 7,000 to watch my movie every day? You know what I'm saying? So that's the challenge. And I've reached out to influencers that kind of like talked about my movie, gave it reviews. I did advertising on Facebook and all that stuff or whatever. But nothing transformed more than word of mouth, and then those Facebook groups. Those work the best for us. So, yeah.
All right, Marshalle.
So, I would say, first of all, we've been doing this for a long time. A lot of us have been doing this for a long time, right? And in the beginning, nobody got a distribution. You didn't have to worry about getting a distribution deal because it was so coveted and hard to get that it was like a mystery. You couldn't like get it, right? And going back to like our first feature film, and some of my partners over there, Rock Engineer, we did our first feature film. I think I want to say 2008, right? And we were ecstatic, like, to get a deal, like, for this film. And when I tell you, when we got the numbers back, it was like goose eggs for months. It was like we didn't get any funding like off of this film. So we learned really early that it wasn't just about getting a deal, it was about getting a good deal and understanding the deal that you were getting. Those numbers, you know, they look really good when they're talking about like the 50-50 split when they first present it to you, but a lot of people don't know, like, they take marketing like right off the top, you know, so it's never was like a 50-50 split. And then after they recouped like all of their funds, it was 50% of that, which also a lot of times ended up only being nothing, right? And so I would say just fast forward today, the silver lining today, pun intended, is that not only have we like kind of figured it out, but like I said, I'm part of the Collective Studios, but and as a part of that collective, now we have someone who's on board who is a distributor, so Silverline Entertainment. So creating that niche like for ourselves and working with, you know, people that you do trust as well, having a good entertainment lawyer, and then Joe Smith, who was on the panel previously as well, coming out with his own distribution company as well. And so for us, again, big budget films don't have to worry about that, right? If you're an independent filmmaker, you have to think about the best distribution model for you and what's going to work best for you. But one thing I have to say about Detroit is that we are creating our own. And those are two examples of fulfilling a need when it comes to distribution that wasn't there when we started making films.
Give it up, give it up. Yeah, I couldn't really disagree with what everyone said. So I think at the end of the day, like, we're in an environment now where you can kind of choose your path. You know, so it's kind of like a gift and a curse of that. Like, I wish, like, I went to the ABFF festival a few years ago, and just hearing this, you know, and being like, one lady was like, I wish I could tell you do A, B, C, D, E, and F, you'll end up at G. Well, that's never the case. Like, everybody here has their own path. There's things that's worked for you at a certain point in time that you had to pivot, and there's things that work for other people and they just shot right off. So I think between, once again, distribution, whether it be through the streamers, whether it be through fiscal sponsorships, grant routes, there's just so many ways you can kind of go about getting your film funded and, of course, distributed. Where, you know, I want to try and shoehorn yourself into just one way, but really find the way that works for you. So I think everybody has to kind of figure that out for themselves. So.
All right. Now, this next question is definitely something big that is going on, not only in our industry, but in every industry, and it deals with AI, artificial intelligence. Now, I know many of you out there have gone online and you've seen like little ads that pop up. I saw one the other day that had John Lennon and George Harrison of the Beatles talking to each other. And the scariest part is, if you didn't know they were dead, you think it was them. Because now it is so kind of like easy to take a person's image and even just a little short track of their voice to, you know, make them give an entire speech. So we'll start off now coming back this way, Marshalle. AI is quickly becoming a major topic in the industry. How do you see it shaping the future of film, both positively and negatively?
Well, one thing's for sure, that it's not going away and it's here to stay. I think you look at it both ways. Like you just said, there's a positive and there's a negative side to it. One, so having a film festival, in terms of how you look at the art and what people consider something that was like made or created. And so technology is here for us to use and be useful, like in this art form, and I embrace it, but at the same time also when it comes to the art that's actually being created, is it too much? Have we gone like kind of too far in terms of how films are being made? And then when you talk about the industry jobs, the jobs that are in the industry, that's one of the big concerns as well, is whether AI is going to eliminate, you know, some of the jobs for creatives as well. And then on the flip side of that, folks who are savvy with technology and able to use it within the art form to elevate their art. So I don't have a negative disposition towards AI. I just think that we just have to continue the conversation and find out better ways to incorporate it into the industry where it's going to be beneficial and not harm the industry.
So AI was my favorite basketball player in high school. The answer, he was really, really good. No, I was talking about Allen Iverson. Okay, all right. That's a dead joke that people in the 1900s, they know. People in the 1900s.
I got it. I knew that. Yeah.
So, I'll start with the negative. So no one should be taking someone's image or their voice or their likeness and using it without their permission in any platform. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that shouldn't happen, and there should be some protective things put in place. But then there are some things that I really, really loved about the leverage of AI. Because, like, I'm doing a documentary on with Marcus Belgrave. Anybody familiar with Marcus Belgrave? He's one of the best musicians that came. We played at Motown and played with Ray Charles and influenced like people like Wynton Marsalis, and you know, he basically was here in Detroit. But he passed away in 2015, and he left like a log of writings, and then there was a bunch of series of interviews that he had. But as I was doing my research, I was like, man, I wish I would have captured this portion of this dialogue that he wrote in an interview. And I'm like, how can we get that? So then, with the permission of Joan, you know, his spouse, we're talking about, like, how do we take this line of dialogue and capture his voice and then put it as an underline under the music? And we blended it with the existing dialogue of the interviews that we had. And then, but the thing is, you can never tell what was the actual interview and what was where we used for AI. Now, I think that's like a safe way to use it, but I use it a lot, and I think that it's like the new internet, right? So people who were scared of the internet didn't want to get an email back in 1995, and you know, like, but now they have it. Like Marshalle said, it's not going away. So I would say jump into it, learn as much of it about, learn as much about it as possible, and use it for your particular area of expertise. Because when you are a dope artist, and you know how to put those prompts in that artists don't, that other artists, non-artists don't know how to put in. So you can get a better result because you know what to ask for. Like a filmmaker, I know like aspect ratio or color temperature, and like we can put certain things as a prompt and get better results. So I would say jump into it. Don't be afraid that it's gonna take somebody's job or whatever. It's already took some jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's already it's gonna continue to take more jobs, but you gotta get ahead of it. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah, very much in agreement. You know, I think it's a tool that if you're savvy and you, I think we're at an inflection point right now, you know, where this is a new technology. It's a little scary. We see the possibility of it replacing or displacing some jobs, but we also see the potential, you know, and I agree. I think I would like to get to a point where AI is a tool that filmmakers use, just like we use color grading, just like we use editing, just like we use, you know, different camera technologies. And but I don't think that AI is a replacement for human art. And that, even if there is going to be AI movies that come out for a couple of years, trust me, people are going to want to see real stories told by real people, acted by real actors that reflect their life experience, that are part of the community they came up from, and that are fantasy worlds that you know somebody thought up from an original idea. And that is going to be what makes our craft of filmmaking stand out over AI created content. I would like to see AI become a tool and not replace the art that we're using the tools to help create. So yeah, I see that a lot. There's a lot of, you know, I think it's a mutual respect thing. It's like, don't use George Harrison's face if George Harrison's family didn't agree to it, you know. And just like you did the right thing, you did the ethical thing, and you went directly to the family and said, here's a line that he wrote in his journals, but we want his voice to it. Let's take his recordings and let's have his voice bring these words to life. And as long as the family says, I agree, that would be, we would be honored to do that, then you're doing it the right way and you're using the technology as a tool to help tell your story. So that's where I'm at with AI.
Yeah, so AI is very interesting. I know when I worked on PBS, you know, for the Renegades, which I produced the Tom Wiggins episode, and so PBS told us some industry standards. So, you know, major networks are already, you know, thinking about setting an industry standard and how you use it. So, and I just finished with that last year. So, and they actually discouraged us from using AI and things like that. But for me, as an indie producer, I use it more so for development purposes. So, like thinking about the pitch deck, thinking about like the proposals, you know, to submit to sponsors or to people and things like that. But when I use it, like ChatGPT or something, I use it as a base and then I edit it from there because I know what I want to say. So when it comes to that, AI is good. But when it comes to like replacing people's jobs and like visual artists or animators or anything, creative actors or anything like that, I want to use real people. So just knowing how to use it as a tool, but not to replace real people.
Absolutely. I know that was one of the big things in the last SAG contract. They're trying to figure that stuff out about what to do. And like you said, yeah, as long as they get like your permission or something along that line, okay, but you just can't take and run. And then also something that each of you hit on, which is something really important to know. Like you mentioned, when cell phones first came out and different things like that, people thought, this isn't going to be around for a long time. And the what? MySpace? No, nobody's going to be hanging on to this stuff. Now you can't, especially those who have kids or grandkids like us. It's like, do you want to eat? I don't know, Grandpa. And it's like, oh no, geez, oh Pete. But it's something that's going to be with us for the rest of our life. And like you said, AI will continue to grow along with everything that we are doing. And what we'll do now, we'll start back down with you. Hayward. For someone just getting started, is film school a must? Or is on-set experience just as valuable? What are the pros and the cons of both?
Great question. I would say, as someone who went to film school, that it actually isn't as relevant or as necessary as you would need. I'm from the school of thought of like having the best of both worlds. I think there's a level of exposure if you go to a certain film school, and I went to one out in Troy, shout out Motion Picture Institute in Troy. It's like a 1-year film intensive course. And, you know, and I picked up a lot of relationships, a lot of people I went on to work with, you know, some in this room, a lot in this room. But at the same time, I think there's something about going out with a camera and just shooting your own stuff more than ever before and kind of figuring out, building a community. I started when, I didn't start like splicing film, but at the same time, I started with mini DV tape. So that was kind of just above that, or just, you know, just after that era, but before the DSLRs and everything that could go digital, shoot on an iPhone. So there's just comes a level of you building a muscle, going out there and figuring things out, to where kind of sitting in a classroom, getting this textbook, there's great theory, it's great things to kind of know, but it's not going to make your film, you know. And a lot of people kind of get caught up on the film school side of, well, I went to film school, I know this stuff. You know, now at the same time too, I do get a lot of people that do bash film school to an extent, and I think there is a level of at least, you know, getting connected with people, maybe renting out their equipment, and there's like alumni database, but it's not a necessary need, I don't think. You know, I think for the most part you can get after it, find a community, and just kind of go after it without necessarily going to film school. I'm not opposed to it, but I feel like you also got to
cut your teeth, you know, School of Hard Knocks as well.
So I didn't go to film school, but I know that the phrase that's said often in our industry is to know your craft, learn your craft well, and that's actually how I got started, was by working on sets. It was actually hands-on, and I mean, and even you know, for someone who's aspiring to be in the industry, finding ways to like work on sets, learn. And when I started, there weren't cell phones, didn't exist. And I remember just being on a set, and I had a notepad in my back pocket, and I would be on set, and even learning the first step was learning the terminology. It was so. In today, fast forwarding today, I mean, you have YouTube University, and in the independent film market in Detroit also, there are tons of sets where you can start out like either as a PA and be around a film community that you can learn from. So I learned hands-on, and you know, making mistakes and learning from other folks who are more experienced than I am. And then also, it never stops also, because even as technology changes, as the industry changes, you're always going to be a student of the craft, and being around supportive people who allow you to be mentors to you as well was always valuable. And as I mentioned, you know, I said YouTube University, but the books and the technology and the resources that are out today, that if you really wanted to be in this industry and learn the industry, those are available to you.
Yeah, I had to let it rest a little bit. So yeah, I think it's 3 ways that you can learn how to be a filmmaker, right? So you can be taught, you can go to school, and you can learn, which has its advantages and disadvantages, of course. It can be bought. You got enough money, you can pay people to just get the movie done. You know what I'm saying? And hire some people and get it done. Or it can be caught, which is how, you know, Marshalle just explained. You stand behind some experts and treat it as like a journeyman, where you are learning by looking and observing and taking notes and all that stuff or whatever. So you just got to figure out what's the best route for you. It's probably a variety of mixtures between those two as well, because I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always studying and looking at stuff, and I teach filmmaking. I actually have a course, by the way, online course. Y'all can check me out. Y'all can check me out. But it's an online course. I taught a 10-week course on starting from beginning to, you know, actually getting the film out. So, but yeah, you can pick either way. I didn't go to film school myself, but I did study behind somebody, Walter V. Marshall, who did go to Full Sail University and came back with a lot of knowledge that I probably wouldn't have picked up with just another person. And the thing is, you're only as good as the person that's teaching you, right? So if they have an area of expertise, you're gonna plateau. Right, so you gotta like go look at resources and books and classes and pay for some stuff, and you know, to go beyond that as well. So it's a continuous improving kind of thing, but yeah, just pick whichever one that works best for you.
And what is the website or link that they could go to?
tbopmedia.com. So tbopmedia.com, and that's, you know, I got a documentary class, and then I also got a class, the full workshop for all of filmmaking. We do budgeting, we do script writing, we do production. They follow us as we make a short film, behind the scenes, all that is all in there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, speaking as someone who went to film school, I don't think film school is necessary to know how to make movies. But I do feel very strongly that you should work your way up so that you can be on set and learn and observe. And learn from those, as they were saying, more experienced than you. A lot of people go to film school, and it's a great way to get access to equipment and to build your community of peers and colleagues that are going to grow with you as you grow your career and go down your journey. And a lot of the people that you end up making movies with are the people that you went to film school with, because you're rising together and you're lifting everybody up together. So that can be a plus of going to film school. But a lot of people go to film school and they come out of film school thinking that they're a director or a producer. And frankly, they're not yet. They need to have start making more movies and being on movies and working as a PA and then as an assistant and working their way up the ladder, because knowing everybody else's job, you have to start at the bottom to understand what everybody else does, so that when you do become the director or the producer or the person in charge, the department head, then you know what to tell your team to do. So I always say, you know, be the director and be the DP or the producer for your friends' short films and music videos. There's always going to be room for that. There's always going to be your community around you to make those smaller projects. But start working at entry-level positions on bigger projects as a PA. Get ingrained within those crews, and they'll bring you on to the next project and the next, and you'll work your way up that way, and you'll learn a lot more.
Definitely.
Just like what everyone have said, that no, it's not a necessity to go to film school. I didn't go to film school. I actually have a bachelor's degree in journalism from Oakland University. So there I studied broadcast journalism. So I had elements of, you know, video production. I was an intern for CW or CBS and things like that. So I was able to transfer a lot of my skill sets from journalism into film. But what I had to do was I took a class on filmmaking, so I understood, you know, the film set, and they gave us a chance to go on a film set. And then also there are many fellowships that's available, you know, locally or statewide and nationally. So I actually was selected for national film fellowships. So that helped out a lot because I was able to find more of a community as well. I found other disabled filmmakers. So and that's how I actually got on PBS, was through a filmmaker, disabled filmmaker out of New York. So just being connected, continuously learning for fellowships. I also got a chance to be the comedian W. Bell for Unlock Potential. So he mentored me for a year. So just going, signing up for fellowships, classes, those type of things, in addition to being on film sets will help.
Thank you very much. What we're going to do, we'll go back down, then we'll open it up for questions once we get down to that end. Okay. But this next question actually has your name written all over it for the most part. Lighting plays a major role in shaping emotion and atmosphere. How do you approach lighting design, especially when working with limited equipment or time?
Yeah, all these people.
Ooh, yeah. So I would just say that when it comes to lighting, once again, I'm not the cinematographer expert, but definitely it's kind of one of those things where a lot of people just get caught up on, like, oh man, what camera did you shoot that with? I gotta get that camera or that lens. Where's lighting, when set design. I mean, coming up through the School of Hard Knocks, you know, before I went to film school, I was just trying to figure out where I could like help out anywhere, get on a film set. And I had the opportunity to PA on a couple of, toward kind of the tail end of the Michigan incentives. There were a couple, medium-sized Michigan feature shootings. So I had a chance to actually work in the set decoration department. Wasn't my first choice. The first time, I'm like, I don't want to dress nothing. What's going on here, you know? But just seeing the level of complexity when it comes to finding different things to dress the set with, just the level of specificity that the set decorator goes to with, the art director, and just how that works with the lighting. So definitely lighting plays a key role. I think a lot of people just, once again, especially in the indie side, get caught up in, oh, what camera do you use? What lens do you use? It's once again a team-making sport, as we mentioned. And once again, lighting is a big part of that. And sometimes you got to work with what you got. Everybody, has their budget. Sometimes there's no budget. But I think definitely a lot of people kind of underestimate, especially in the indie side, lighting, what that
So, Lighting is definitely not one of my areas of expertise, technically, but in the storytelling aspect of it, working with your team when you're creating a vision for your project, especially when there's certain scenes when you want to create a certain mood. And I know all of you in here who are just movie lovers, just from watching scenes, you realize how you can bring a certain scene to life just the way that it's lit. I know that the black and white films, if it's a horror film, something like that, the dark scares a whole lot of people for no reason, right? But you use lighting, you use everything that you have within the craft to help tell the story. And so for me, working with my team, working with the technical directors, and when you're communicating what it is that you'd like to come across and see on the screen as it relates to lighting that aspect of it, that's where you're able to collaborate and storyboard and be able to bring that to life when you want it to evoke, especially a certain emotion, like in a scene. So I'm fanning out just as a lover of film and loving what puts me in a mood when certain lighting is used technically in a film to bring a story to life.
All right. If lighting is important to you, hire a gaffer. Hire someone who's expertise in that particular area. So a lot of people, they're saying, well, what did you shoot that on? That's a lot of the question. I think we've been sold a bill of goods about saying it's just this one thing, but it's not. It's when it all comes together. So you need the right lighting. You need the right makeup. You need the right set design. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need all this stuff to come together in order to make a beautiful picture. So one of my mentors, he told me that, if he was to give me a $10,000 stove and give a gourmet chef a hot plate, who's gonna have a better meal? The gourmet chef, right? On a hot plate. I got $10,000 worth of equipment. I can do some things, but it's what's up here. That's what's gonna give that person the competitive advantage. So the more you know and learn and study and go to school for and sit up under people, like, that's what's gonna help you become a better filmmaker. And then you can hire people that can do things because you know enough to know that they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it all comes together in order for it to be a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, spot on. I mean, first of all, speaking to gaffers, as a DP, my most important collaboration is with the gaffer, who is the lighting technician, and really it's a creative role, it's a technical role, it's all of those things. But there's some great gaffers in the crowd today, and DPs, Justin and Joe Quick and others out here. Those are really the people that can elevate your work. As a DP, lighting is the one part of the job that has taken me the most time to understand and learn and wrap my head around, because lighting is invisible until it hits something, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of experimentation and a lot of different lighting scenarios and conditions to really start to understand lighting. And even then, you're continuing to learn, like we've all been saying, which is that every day is a learning experience on set. The other thing is that there are many different ways to achieve a different look of lighting at different levels and resources and crew sizes. So one of the cinematographer's jobs is to translate the director's vision creatively, yes, but they are also there to translate the producer's budget into reality. And a lot of times I take pride in trying to be respectful of the producer's budget. And if I know that we don't have as much resources, I'm thinking of creative ways to light a scene, or maybe we put this scene at a certain time of day because actually the natural light is gonna do everything for us, and it saves a lot of money in terms of lighting equipment and personnel. So that speaks to just it's not all about the gear. And then you said it perfectly, which is that cinematography is also, it's not just what camera and lenses you use, it's what ends up in front of the camera. It is all the collaboration that you do with the costume department, with the set design, everything from the color and texture of the shades that are on the windows to patterns that people have on their clothes are all going to read different on camera and react differently to the lighting, and you have to find that harmony with everything. So you have to work closely with your other department heads, your art department, your costume department, makeup, the texture of human skin, what color is the skin, are you lighting a white person, a black person, that they all respond differently to light, and understanding how skin can be beautiful in different lighting conditions, and not putting an actor who has a certain skin tone in a type of lighting condition that doesn't look good for them, you know. So that's a whole new frontier of cinematography too that is being expanded on by many of the new contemporary cinematographers, because for a long time film lighting wasn't designed to light black skin, for example, and now we have a lot more tools to do that, and to do that in a beautiful way. So yeah, so it's all-encompassing. I mean, you know, we could talk for hours about just lighting alone, but it touches every aspect of the production.
So, with lighting, for me, I'm not an expert in lighting neither. I'm a primary role as producer, creative producer, and writer. So, like what everyone else has said, it's important as a producer to have a good director, to have a good team around you. And like more so as a creative producer, I kind of have an idea work with the director on the tone of the film. So like what I want, you know, so, and then budget is important as well. So lighting is, of course, important, but being around people who know how to do their job, you know, work together as a team to create the vision that, you know, we're trying to achieve is important.
Oh, Greg, really quick. I see we still have Greg here, another one of our cinematographer panelists. Since we're on the lighting question, Greg, no mind putting you on the spot. If you could, yeah, you know, it's only right. You know, for this lighting question real quick, give us your thoughts on the importance of lighting.
Okay, I agree with everybody here pretty much. Lighting is important. All the pieces are important. I think with the lighting, it really helps to kind of shape the image that you really want and the look. Like if you want it moody, if you want it happy, you want it bright and vivid. And you know, there's so much you could do with lighting. It's endless.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Well, we're going to do now what we did with the last one. We'll open it up for any questions that some of you may have for our panelists up here. Any questions from the audience? Yes, in the back. If you don't mind, if you can stand up and project. Oh, we got a mic. Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Eddie, and I wanted to ask, how does someone get involved in filmmaking in Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, hit me up. I mean, we all like, all of us, it's a movie being shot just about every single day in Detroit. It's like 200 movies that come out of, like, that came out of Detroit so far. And we're a tight-knit group of family. Sometimes we don't get along, sometimes we do, but we still family, you know what I'm saying? So you can get in touch with us, you get in touch with all of us. We got a whole studio, it's 11 of us, filmmakers and producers called the Collective Studio. Come on, take a tour, and we'll get you plugged in. Follow the page, it has a lot of audition stuff on there too, with, you know, if you want to get involved. It all depends on what aspect you want to get involved in. All right.
Anybody else?
Anyone else have a question? Oh, okay.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
First of all, thanks for being here. Y'all all are amazing. I know a lot of y'all. But I have a question that anytime I get a bunch of filmmakers in the room, I want to ask this question. We talk a lot about the actual filmmaking process and the film being made, but how important is it to impact the community, right? We know Detroit is a very tight-knit, you know, small pond of production people. Everybody kind of knows everybody. So can y'all talk a little bit about the impact of what you're actually doing on set, not the movie making, but like how you act, how you present on set, and how you actually get it done, and what that kind of means, you know, to each one of you.
No matter what he do, man, if something happens, if it's a child, your grandma, somebody passing, people
So for me, the impact, that's like the cornerstone for what I do. And what I mean by impact, a lot of it is like social impact, because as, you know, a community organizer, a disability activist, you know, filmmaking is part of my activism. So when I create these, it's like, what kind of impact I want to make in my community. And I'm grateful that I'm connected to a lot of people. There's a lot of us who are doing things around different social issues. And so, you know, I go to that community and say, well, hey, let's get together. Let's see what kind of way that you want to make that type of impact. So, for example, I'm working on a documentary. It's in development, but just got done on the webinar. It's called Autistic Out Loud, and it's about the Black autistic community and how it shapes, you know, the community. So what I did, you know, being an activist, I'm already connected. So, and I was able to get a grant. So with my grant, I was able to hire people that's autistic, you know, neurodivergent, to work with me. And it's like the webinar is full of people who are, you know, experts. And so it's like, as an activist, when I'm going to tell the story, how I'm going to make that impact and work with that community to make that impact is important.
I want to contribute to that a little bit, and I'll keep it brief. When you talk about impact, to me, what it means, what screams to me is the creative economy impact. In my introduction, it talked about being an advocate for the industry, and for the longest time, maybe even over 20 years, I try to uplift artists and the business side, the creative side, and talk about the community here. Now, I would say even like maybe even 10 years ago, when like I'm in rooms, when folks even ask me, there really is a film community, using that word, community, like in Detroit. We all know one another. We know the work that we do because we're all intertwined with what we do in Detroit. But a lot of folks in the community, they have no idea that about the amount of content that's being made here. We have the studios that are being created, and when I talk about the impact, especially the economic impact, right? Because every time you do a film, it's the name of that film, like LLC, right? And you talk about how it impacts, you know, like jobs here, right? Every last one of us hire folks, you know, at least 10 to 20 people on each project that we have. So when it comes to being in rooms and talking about the resources that creative people need to excel, that's the part about the conversation I want to expand, not just to Michigan, but but we have to start here at our home base first, right? And you have to figure out ways how to make a living off of your art. You know, I think here when we were talking about like if you make money like off of it, I would have to say even at like at the Collective Studios, like half of the filmmakers have now been able to do film full time, because we're making an economic impact within the city. But we need more people to know about the economic impact. When they were talking about MiFIA and having the tax incentives here, like to do films and things like that, we created an industry. How often does that ever happen, where you get to actually create another industry, like here? And even though the incentives went away, we're still trying to make sure that we have an economic impact within not just the city, but in the entire state.
Yeah, give it up. Marshalle. I did want to just add two things. One about our own economic impact, right? In order to make $100,000 in a year, you only need to make $11.42 an hour. But you need to get paid 24 hours a day. Follow what I'm saying? You're not working 8 hours a day, getting 11. But if you get paid 24 hours a day with a digital asset, with a film that can make money while you sleep and while you're woke, you can make $100,000 passively, right? Just by making it $11.42 an hour. It isn't hard. It isn't rocket science. It's just math, right? One of the ways that I would look for making an impact is I try to partner with nonprofit organizations that already have the ability to make an impact on the people that they serve, right? So I work with the Union, the nonprofit organization. We did 4 films for them, one on abstinence, one on teen suicide prevention, bullying, and making goals and getting kids out of the street life, right? I just left a documentary with Black Leaders Detroit, who gave a lot of money to the people on this corridor, but they put like $4 million in the hands of Black-owned businesses in the city of Detroit. But they wanted to tell the story. They were doing a fundraiser, a bike ride from Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, riding a bicycle to Wall Street in New York. It's a 35-day bike ride. We were following them doing that ride, right? But to raise awareness, to get more people access to capital that we historically been, fought against and denied, right? So, but we have the skill set to be able to help these organizations make an impact. Not just us making an impact, because we can only do so much. But if we partner and do more collaborations, then that's where I think we can make a greater impact.
Great point, great point. Once again, guys, Art of Filmmaking panel. I think we got time for one more question, either from the audience or we'll hop back to Greg. Just a quick plug once again. Over here.
Hello, how you doing? I just wanted to ask, as a creative and as a film producer, where would you say you found that boldness to actually be effective in the area of like the message you wanted to say? You know, sometimes when actually being effective or trying to tell a story, there are those that you may find people that get offensive in it, that may be a part of the story, or maybe, you know what I'm saying, has something to do with the thing that you're trying to speak against. You know, where would you say you get that boldness to still go forth and do your part with giving the people what the message that they need to hear without being shy from your creative ability by the fear of offending someone?
So, what's your name, bro? Darius. So you got to figure out what's dope to you. Like, what's dope to you? Do you think it's dope? Because people gon' people, right? The best movie that was ever made has some critic talking about how bad it was. You know what I'm saying? So make something that's beautiful to you, that you feel comfortable putting out. Like, look, if they like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. Like, make something that's good. But you also, if you're trying to make some money, you got to make sure some people like it. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you make that $1.11.42 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Have that in mind. But when it comes down to it, this is your art. This is what you feel that is important to you. You put that out there regardless of what people gonna say. Because people, some people don't, they really don't like it. I'm saying they don't hate your movie, but they want to put comments out there to get attention. They might say, oh, I hated that. They probably liked it. But they want to get that algorithm going so they can create that dialogue. So leave them alone, man. Just do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about them.
There's only one you, and there's only one story, one voice that you have that doesn't exist in this world. So if you concentrate on the story that you want to put out in the universe and in the world, focus on that.
Yeah, just to reiterate some of what people said, I definitely agree with everyone. Also, what helped me overcome, being bold to tell stories, and actually what I had to do, just to give you some motivation. When I wanted to get into film, that I actually was discriminated against. I was told by an entity that I could not go to their school because of my disability. And so, so there's barriers, and there's no much bigger barrier than somebody saying because of who you are, you can't come in. You see what I'm saying? But what kept me going, what keeps me going is the passion for the community, because there's a lack of representation of my community on screen. So just to reiterate what everyone says is to find your passion. You know, what community, what story? Is a story in your family? Like what's gonna drive you? What's gonna be your passion? And then when you find that, then you just take off. You're not gonna care what anyone says.
Mic drop. All right, y'all. So as we wrap up the art filmmaking panel, don't go anywhere yet. Once again, I want to shout out our sponsors, Lone Wolf, Late Bloomer Films, as well as 220 Uno. And then also we have, who's the last one? Oh, Swyft Dezigns. So definitely shout out. Just give a quick clap to our sponsors. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Appreciate it. So this will conclude the very first art of filmmaking panel on the Light Up Livernois Avenue. Give it up, everybody. Give it up. Give it up. Once again, a shout out to Suits for Less. Also, a big shout out to the Independent Business Association. It's their 4th year producing the Light Up Livernois. I'm also a member, and I'm their Michigan Film Relations Ambassador as well. So appreciate everybody here for coming out. Feel free to sit, to hang out, network, not till maybe midnight, but next 30, 40 minutes or so. We're no rush. And definitely connect. If you're looking to get into filmmaking, connect with us here. Get connected with these filmmakers. Been doing this game so much longer than me, or people just getting started the last few years. And shout out to all the panelists. Give it up for all our panelists. Appreciate you, Greg Russell, TV legend. Man. And thank you guys, and thanks for coming out. See you next year.
Then I jump on at the end for him.
All right ahead.
He's not going to, yes.
This young man is the person who put this together. His idea to get the film community out here to meet each other and to do other things. So, big round of applause, much admiration and love for you, brother. Keep it going.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. We'll see you next year. All right. Thanks for coming out.